Welcome back to the Morning Mindset. My name is Kerry Green. I'm here to help you get your mind right for the day. And I hope that doesn't sound condescending or funny, but it really is true. As human beings, we are flawed creatures because of the power of sin that has affected our lives. And it's not a religious thing, it's just a reality thing. We are flawed. We are not perfect as our God is perfect. And our desire every morning should be to get our minds aligned with the way that He thinks about the way the universe works, including our thoughts about Him, our thoughts about ourselves, our thoughts about other people, and our thoughts about our role in the world. And the Bible is what we're using to help ourselves get our minds right. And so, since it is the Christmas season, we've been looking at the Christmas story. And most recently, since it is the Christmas season, we've been looking at Matthew chapter 1, verse number 18. And this was the account of how the angel Gabriel came to Mary and told her about the birth of Jesus that was coming and how she had been blessed. Actually, it's in Luke 1:26 is where the story begins. I misquoted the scripture there. And there's some interesting things to notice here about Mary's attitude. First of all, she was responding with curiosity, obviously, because she didn't understand how some of the things that the angel was describing to her could happen. But in the end, when he had explained everything, even though it still wasn't absolutely comprehensible, she submitted herself to God's will. She says at the very end, "Be it to me according to your word." So she's basically saying, I give myself to your plan, whatever it is, even though I don't understand all the details, and I know it's going to be a scary thing. I mean, think about this, a young lady being pregnant for the first time, that alone is scary enough. But in this case, this is much bigger than just your normal pregnancy, because this is the Son of God, the Holy Child, who will be God but man. And all the implications of that for her as a mother, for her as a teenager who's never had a child before, for her as an unwed mother, yet to be married to her fiancé Joseph. All the complications that are going to arise from this must have been racing through her mind, and yet she submitted herself to God. I'm telling you, there are so many times in my life where I didn't see coming what came into my life. I mean, that's life, isn't it? We don't know the future. We don't know the things that are coming our way. And when they come, many times they are difficult to swallow, difficult to submit ourselves to. But because our God is sovereign and He is working His good will, whether we recognize it or not, He is doing good in the world. And it is our role as His creatures, under the sovereign hand of our Creator, to submit ourselves to His will, to gladly take part in the things that He has for us and He has for our lives. That is Mary's response. But there's another thing that I notice here that helps me kind of get my mind around this a little bit better. And that is to notice that God doesn't really seem to care about the implications of what He's doing from a man-centered perspective. And here's what I mean by that. When God chooses Mary, He chooses a woman, a young woman who is not married at the time. And in her culture, and to some degree in our culture, the stigma of being pregnant but unmarried was a huge deal. People were going to look down on Mary. They were going to look down on Jesus. But God did not care about man-made standards. God did not care about this stigma. He cared about glorifying Himself through this miraculous way of bringing His Son into the world. Tomorrow, we're going to address that a little bit more on The Morning Mindset from livebuildchange.com.